Hi, I'm Lo. Lo who? Low Signal, the guy who decided it was a good idea to skin 5000 journals as a challenge for no reason. Okay, maybe not for no reason. Originally, the plan was to fill 5000 journals in the safest zone possible and see how much profit I can get just by skinning. And then maybe refine the hide and craft it into something to get the most out of it. This was a long project. I have invested more than 100 hours as of now, and I have only completed about half of this challenge. And even though the project was stupid and long, I was going to do it. I made a test video, then two separate videos updating the progress I had made. And while I was in the middle of recording for part 3, something happened. Something very unexpected. I got robbed. How much, you ask? Around half a billion silver. So here's what actually happened. I will try to explain this as best as I understand it right now, since there is no clear answer to how it happened yet. So, a player would join our guild and they would deposit a large amount of siphoned energy, 1000 to be exact, which is worth around 8 million silver. And for those who don't know what siphoned energy is, it is basically a resource you use to overcharge, which adds about 100 item power to your gear. Now, after depositing 1000 siphoned energy, our guild gave him a siphon role, which only allowed him to access and withdraw the siphoned energy. But somehow, he would promote himself to the Vice Guild Master, which the siphon energy role was never meant to allow. From there, he would go on to give himself every single role available in our guild, after which he would invite some of his other accounts in our guild and then leave the guild. After doing the same with his other accounts, he would go on to kick every single active member of our guild and then loot all the guild chests, guild islands, everything. Not only did he take all the materials that were collected during this challenge, he would go on to take every single possession I had on the Bridgewatch Island, which in total was around 500 million. Soon after, when our guildmaster came online, it was already too late. Everything had been robbed, all of the houses were emptied, all of the silver was taken. And it turns out that we were not the only ones. We reached out to a couple other guilds and confirmed the same thing had happened to them. Somehow, someone with a role that should only allow inviting new members can use that rule to escalate their permissions in the guild, kick out other active members, and empty the guild storage. Same pattern, same player, different guilds. Right now, nobody knows for sure if this was a bug or an exploit. Our guildmaster did submit an email to Albion Online regarding this matter, with all the proofs and screenshots. And this is what they replied with. As far as I know, the player was never given the access or the permission to do such things. And if this has happened with multiple guilds in a short amount of time, then maybe there really is a problem. And I'm sure they have the tools to check the guild logs more accurately to see what really happened. Coming back to the journey of 5000 journals. Somewhere in the middle of part 2, much sooner than I expected, I hit one of my sub-goals, which was to max out my tier 5 skinning. Everything after that point was just more skinning and more journals. Now that I've already maxed out my tier 5 skinning, and all the materials that I had collected before are completely gone, it does not make sense to continue this challenge any further. So I will be declaring this as the end of the journey of 5000 journals. However, I did promise profit calculations at the start of this series, and even though there was no profit at all, I do have the data. I'll be breaking it all down in a separate video, so keep an eye out for it. Unlike the last few parts, which took weeks to put together, this one's coming out in just a couple days. I will try keeping a proper schedule in the future. Thanks for following the journal this far. See you in the next one.